It's so easy to become a Dusty. You can easily suck forever. A lot of people don't realize that you can easily suck forever, because if you don't want to improve anything about your character, you will suck forever. Yup. And that's why they say Dusties will suck forever. They'll never, ever go anywhere, because if you don't want to become a more honest person, if you don't want to be a more kind person, you're going to be Dusty forever. That's why Dusties suck forever. In eternity, Dusties will suck forever. Hi love. Oh, Faith. Sasa. Sasa. Dusties. Today we are talking about dusty men. Dusty men who will suck forever. One of my videos is going viral because I said, what did I say? I said something like single men suck. There's a reason they suck, is because these people, they don't want to be. How's my boy? How's the baby going? Actually, let me know how you guys are doing. It's a long time. I know you've been busy. Being a new mom. Kwani niko na pimple. It's painful. Hii haiwezi kosa ni ya peas. Unaona venye imejitokelezea? Inasokelezea sana. Mi sijui. Actually, I don't know. I could not know why. Because sijakuona live for a long time. Sisi tuko tu hapa YouTube channel trying to make it. Trying to get monetized. We are still here. Trying to make it. Yeah, today I was just saying that Dusties will suck forever. Dusty men will suck forever. I mean, if you're not going to be nice to your girlfriend or your fiance, you're not going to be honest with her, you're not going to tell her things, you're a Dusty. You're a Dusty and you'll suck forever. If you're out there cheating on women, lying, telling lies, not taking responsibility of your family, not taking responsibility of the finances at home, you're a Dusty and you will suck forever. And you deserve the shallowness that comes your way. You deserve a shallow bank account. You deserve shallow. I'm not saying you, I'm saying a Dusty man. I'm talking about a Dusty man. I'm saying a Dusty man who is shallow in his relationships, shallow with his responsibility. He deserves a shallow bank account and he deserves shallow relationships. Because if you want to stop being a Dusty, you need to be deep. You need to be a deeper person who has more meaningful connections, who has more responsibilities. Like Dusties, they just don't even know they are Dusties. They just don't know that they will suck forever. Because why? Because Dusties are stupid, that they are not self-aware and they don't want to change. That's the fate of a Dusty. Is their fate. Is their fate. Kanini, asante sana. Asante sana. Love you. I don't know why. I notify subscribers. But anyway, that's the video I was making about, why single men suck. they don't want to change. They will suck forever. If you don't want to change something about you, you will suck forever. It's so easy to suck forever because all you gotta do is nothing. All you gotta do is nothing. If you don't want to take responsibilities as a parent, you don't want to take responsibilities and form a meaningful connection where you can be honest with somebody instead of cheating on them, telling them lies. That's why a dusty will suck forever in eternity. They will forever suck. So, you know, but they don't know. They don't know they are dusties, and they don't know that they will suck forever. And and so what made me realize this is because I put a video, and that video was just other people, not just me, other people explaining to men why they can't treat women badly and then expect like good things will happen in their life. And you see on the comments, all the dusty men saying, I'm projecting, blah, blah, blah. Like they will not want to take responsibility for their actions. They don't want to do any of that work. For them, self-improving is too much work. It's too much work to work on their heart, on their morals, on their emotions. It's too much work. And I tell you guys, women, if you find a man who is not willing to work on himself, you will see the first signs. He's a dusty. He will suck forever, and he's going to drain your energy. He's going to use you. And by the time he's done with you, you'll be worse off than when you got with him. So if you know that you're going to be worse off by the time he's done with you or you're done with him, never pick a dusty. Learn to stay by yourself alone with your problems and with your friends and the support that you can get from people who genuinely are there for you than to go on with a dusty. Because a lot of women, once they realize that you're a pick-me, that you can get, you just want any guy as long as you have a man and you don't want to sort him out. They don't know exactly this is they drain you. They don't know how to apologize, and this is how you see he's a dusty, and he is going to suck forever. Like Faith. Like Faith is saying, they never want to change. They're going to drain your energy, and they don't know how to apologize. When you see these signs, pick them up, because a dusty will suck forever. And that's why I tell girls, don't become a pick-me. A pick-me is a girl who will do anything just to get a man. She will forget who she is. She will just stop everything. And most women, yes, a dusty will pretends that he knows everything. Nobody knows everything, right? They will pretend that they know it all, and so they want you to just tell you things. They just want to place orders on you, tell you things. And let me tell you, a dusty man looks for a specific type of a woman. He looks for a woman who is a pick-me. And if you see my videos, pick-me's, please go watch my videos about pick-me's, about women who just will do anything for a man. Don't become that woman who will do anything for a man, because what you do, you attract a dusty man. And a girl should always be picky. You should always be picky, because it's so easy for a man to drain you. It's so easy for a man to leave you in a situation in life that you will struggle. You can struggle forever, but he can leave you in a situation where you can struggle even for at least 4 or 5 years. A man can come into your life, right? And he has either 3 or 4 women in his life, right? And he wants to ruin all of their lives. And why he wants that is because he knows that if she's depending on me, she's depending on me, she's depending on me, she's depending on me, I have all these women who need me, and I can do whatever I want. So the more he puts you in a bad place, the more power he gains. and he will exploit that. That's why I tell women, do not become a pick me. If he didn't, if he, men have standards. Men have women that they want to take care of, like the dream girl, and then they have women who are their stepping stone to get to the dream life that they want. Don't become the stepping stone. Don't become the pick me, because if you will become the pick me, that's what you're going to be. The only way you make sure that you're not a pick me and you're not somebody else's stepping stone is that you believe in yourself. As a woman, you're capable of starting a business. You know, if I knew what I know right now in my 20s, I would start a business. I don't care what business, I would start it. Because if you start a business as a woman, you can easily make, even if it's 20,000 or even 10,000, you can make that for yourself, just selling vegetables, just selling food, just selling makeup, just selling, even if it's hair, you can easily do that. So all you have to do is believe in yourself, you know, and start something. Just start whatever. Just start. People just start and they become good and good and good and good. And if you have taken my mental health class on coaching, I say you become good with time. Don't ever think that every time you start something, you become good at it. Nope, it doesn't happen like that. You become good over time. And even with picking the right kind of a man, you become good with time. So you don't want to experience that with many men coming into your life. You want to watch other people and their failed relationships. You want to read, you want to understand the psychology, and then once you're ready, you get into the relationship. But you know, never ever beat yourself for something that you didn't know. But once you know something, you make sure that you never ever go back. That's the positive psychology. You always lean on positive psychology, because beating yourself up never works. But once you know something, you know, you do better. So a lot of things that have happened lately in the dating world is that women have become better and better, because women, we learn from our mistakes. But a lot of men, you know, like Kanini, you're saying, like they are narcissists, you know, and good. Yes, I love that, Faith. You're becoming wise. You're going into your own business. No employer will ever pay you good money like your own business. It will never happen. They'll never pay you better than you can pay yourself, because if you start making money from your makeup business, guess what? You're going to be like, okay, I'm getting money from this. Let me become good at it. You're going to figure out where to get the makeup to sell. You're going to start owning that business. And then if you do that for the next 5 years, where do you think you'll be in 5 years? In 5 years, you'll be in a place that you never even dreamed that you'll be. You're going to be in a very, very, very different place. But guess what? You have to learn. All the lessons that are needed for you to become very good in the makeup business, you need to learn them. And you don't learn them overnight. You learn them over time. So the more you keep working hard towards that, the more you become better. In the makeup world, look for girls who want to improve their life. They are definitely going to do makeup. Makeup is not something that you pick up you wake up one day and then suddenly you do it for the first time and then you're good at it. It's something you have to watch videos, you have to practice on yourself, on somebody else's face, you know, and then you have to kind of start learning things. You become good with time, like anything in time. So what I like for women is to believe in themselves. Believe in yourself that you will become good at whatever you choose to focus on. Definitely 100%. You're going to become good at it. Completely, you're going to become good at it, because that's how the brain learns. I mean, your brain can learn things easily. Nobody taught your brain how to speak a new language. You picked up your mother tongue just like that, and there's so many intricacies in a language, and you picked it up naturally. You just picked it up, right? Nobody taught you how to walk. You picked it up naturally. You taught yourself how to crawl even when you didn't have the senses of understanding what you're doing. You learned how to crawl. You learned how to stand up. You learned how to walk. You learned how to run. Nobody even taught you these things. These are things that you just pick up. So if you want to become good in the makeup business, all you need to do is to expose yourself in that business. You know, you'll pick things up. If you write things down, you're really going to become good at them just by writing them down, right? If you ask questions, if you meet people, like you can learn sales. If you really want to become good at something and make a lot of money, become good at sales. Start selling something. Start selling something. And hi, if you really want me to help you with mental health coaching, I have a class, an online class. Just let me know there that you want to take my mental health class. And listen, if you're telling me that you don't have enough money to pay for my mental health class, I can give you for free, but I want you to make sure that you're going to do a video review of my class. You're going to do an online review of my class, because you have to give me something if I'm giving you something. I just don't like freeloaders. They suck and they'll suck forever. Hi, Frank. Hi, Frank. Nice to see you again. I don't like freeloaders, and I don't like Dusties, because I told you I don't have nothing to do with Dusties. They'll suck forever. Okay. We don't want Dusties. We want people who want to do business with us. No Dusty. I don't want your number. I don't know where you came from. I don't want no Dusty people. I am not UNICEF. I am not UNICEF. If you want to improve, if you want to go anywhere in life, you're going to need mental health coaching. Mental health is number one. And if you don't know what good mental health is, it involves understanding your environment. Keeping it real. You want to take my class? Awesome. Drop me an email at wiredhappiness@gmail.com, and I'm going to send you the details. Let me know that you don't want to be a Dusty and you want to take the class. My class is paid, but if you are not going to have the finances, I will need a review. I don't deal with Dusties who don't give nothing back. No Dusties, no life, no future with a Dusty. I get a lot of, I wrote a video, and you know, this obviously the thumbnail has to be catchy, so I wrote single men suck. I don't mean all single men suck, because there are decent single men out there, but I meant the Dusty ones. Dusty single men who they don't want to, Dusty single men, they want you to pay on the first date and you're the woman. Okay, that's how dusty they are. Shamelessly dusty. Frank, you want to share with me your new work environment? Oh, is not healthy, is very toxic, and you're now in a public bus operator. You're currently watching. Oh shoot, you got attacked by a passenger. What was happening? Like what happened? Was it somebody? Do you have any idea why they attacked you? You know, sometimes we live in a toxic environment. You know, if somebody is attacking you in a public bus, was it a racism thing? Was it because they were mad or they were crazy here? You know, how did you read the situation when they were attacking you? Hi, Buster Mike from Germany. Thanks so much for joining. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're in my show, we don't like freeloaders. You guys need to like the video. You need to like the show. And then, yeah, and then I have no problem with you. Today we are talking about Dusties. We don't want Dusties. Dusties are people who don't want to give anything, but they want to expect everything. Like they've confused the universe for being a place where freeloading is allowed. We don't like freeloaders. What do you mean, like a drain makeover? Listening to you makes me feel like I have a drain makeover. Oh shoot. Oh wow. Wow. You guys look at this. Look at this. Frank was dealing with a Dusty. She says, he says, long story short, she came over on my bus, did not pay fare. I asked her to pay, for her part, and she said no. I gave her a free ride. She got off at the bus stop, and before she got off, she came up from the front and spit on my face. So I detained her. Citizens arrest, and the cops came, and now I'm on administrative meeting. Okay, you're on administrative leave. So they are investigating the whole situation, whether ha ha ha. Yeah, it's very, right now things are very tense. Like things are going to be very tense for a long time. All you can do is just allow it to be, like allow the process to be as it is, because sometimes the power is in doing nothing. Okay, so they put you on an administrative leave, right? You did nothing wrong, because she spit on you, so she was being aggressive with you. So the cops came, like you did everything that you are needed to do. Now you're on administrative leave, is to go on a vacation. I would go on a vacation, because what you want to do is you want to switch up your energy. You want to switch it up, and once you break from that energy of everything that's going on in your life, it will put you in a very different state of mind. And what matters is that instead of feeling all this stress thinking about what just happened, first of all, break from that energy, go and see something different. Go to a totally different space. I'd say now that you're on administrative leave, they are most likely going to get you back. Go on a vacation. Go somewhere that you wanted to go. Imagine that it was just something that you're breaking. The first thing, you break from that energy and you have a different perspective. Because as long as you're in this mindset, you know you will not heal. It's not going to heal. So you want to move to a different frame of mind. Yeah, most likely HIV, you don't get it from saliva. A lot of people kiss, if you can imagine. uh, they don't usually get it from spitting. But anyway, it's disgusting to get bodily fluid from anybody. And you could get something like herpes, or the cold sores that people get. But most likely you're not going to get HIV or something like gonorrhea or something terrible like that. Most likely you're not going to get any of that. But it's good to go have tests and everything. But yeah, working with people can be very stressful. Working with the public is not easy. Working with people all the time. I mean, I used to be a recruiter, and I was even not with people. They were just on the phone with me, and it was stressful. But when I was so burned out and tired, there are things that you have to remember. God will fight for you in a situation where you didn't do anything wrong. God will fight for you. So just leave it to God. He will do his thing. And then the next thing, just break from that energy. That's what I would say. Break from that energy. I gave this one man advice. He was having a contract. It was like worth millions of dollars because he's a contractor. And so he went to talk to the family about the house that they are building for him. And this house, he started talking to the wife, because he thought, it's nice to talk to the wife about her plans and what she wants. But the husband got jealous. And I told this man, you know, right now you want to talk more to this husband, he's already mad at you. I told him, you want to talk so much to this man, he's already mad at you. Break that energy. I told him, break that energy. Go go on a vacation. You love architecture, go somewhere, admire beautiful things, right? But he was very stubborn. He wanted to talk to this couple who were done with him. And you know what? He lost the contract. He lost the contract because you can't change. People don't understand energy, don't get this one thing. You can't change something on the same frequency that problem created it. So you are on this frequency and this thing happened. Okay? The solution is not on that frequency. The solution is on here, on this other frequency. So the more you are worried and anxious about this situation is going to create this situation. The only way to break it is to bring in a different frequency. That's how you start seeing a new perspective, a new way, and getting out of your environment is the quickest way to just get you out of there. So yeah, take some time off, because now you're going to start thinking, what if she had this, what if she had that, what she had this. You don't want to stay in that frequency. That frequency is what is going to stress you out. And you already know what I already said about stress. It creates cortisol into your system, adrenaline, all these things. So the more you think about what could go wrong, the more you're going to be stressed about it. So yeah, take time. This is what happens in mental health. Your environment determines a lot. The environment you're in determines a lot of mental health. I'm not saying that you've worked there for a long time. It's very hard to get a job in this economy right now. So I'm not saying that necessarily change the job or go somewhere else. The solution is not always to run away. The solution in life is not always to run away. The solution can also be, how can I be is there something I need even to change about myself so that I have very fewer problems when I'm in this transit, when I'm working with people? Can I read people better and know that this person is likely to cause me problems, or this one is less likely to cause me problems, and then kind of deal with people accordingly? Sometimes you just need to make those kinds of shifts where you're kind of more emotionally aware and more emotionally intelligent to kind of read people. Like, this person seems like they're desperate. This person looks like, they are angry, and staying away from energy that could actually be aggressive for you, if you still want to keep that job. Those are things that you can do, because we are in an economy right now where jobs are not easy to find. And if you can just go somewhere else and just get a job, I'd say, keep, be very conservative with decisions that involve money in a tough economy. Another thing is, well, if you sue your company, they are probably going to just drop you, because now you sued them. You sued your company, so they don't need to keep you as an employee. Secondly, they are not responsible for you and what happened between you and somebody else attacking you. They can make sure that, I worked in HR, I can tell you, they can make sure that you've gone to hospital, that, if you need, like, putting you on administrative leave does not mean that they think that you did anything particularly wrong in this case. But what they are going to look is, they're going to look at your history and see if you're the kind of a person who is combative or understanding, or somebody who gets into fights with clients. You know, they are going, those will be things that they determine. Like, they'll look at your history to see if you're the kind of person who is a dusty or somebody who is not a dusty. You know, that's what they they they'll look at, because dusties for companies are liabilities. They don't get along with people, they have fights, they have all these things. So that's what they're going to look at, and then you can keep your job. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, so they're going to look since September. They're going to see since September if you've been in fights with other people, you know. And if you have been in fights with other people, that's why I teach mental health. I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to be honest with yourself. Yeah. Yeah, because even if the problem is coming from you, you would go to another client and things would happen. But if you know the problem is not coming from you, is coming from the environment that you're in, maybe you're meeting a lot of aggressive people, a lot of people who can potentially attack you, you're not going, if you stay there, you're not going to change that environment. That environment is still going to trigger you. You're still going to feel unsafe. You're still going to feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. And so your wife and your son are right when they tell you, if this is an environment that keeps you in high stress, that you need to go, because that's just going to keep your high blood pressure up. It can give you a stroke. It can give you lots of things happening. So if it's a stressful environment, I say run. Exactly, exactly. So you already know what to do, Frank. You already have the right mindset. You know, you did nothing wrong. If you believe completely, like, you know, and for me, when I see this, the way you've presented the case to me, I don't see that you're a person who was aggressive. But I don't know you in person. I don't know your nature. So I'm not going to flatter you at all. Okay. I'm not gonna flatter you at all, because I'm just going to say the way that I see from your case, you are not aggressive to this particular person. They attacked you and you called the police to defend yourself, which is, that is respectful, right? That is, you did something to stand up for yourself. Now, if they fire you for that, you can sue them. But if your environment, but it doesn't matter whether they fire you or not. This is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter whether they fire you or not. If that environment is constantly putting you on the edge, if that environment is constantly stressing you, whether they fire you or not, you have to make that decision to leave eventually, if the environment is causing you distress. And so what I'm saying is, if that environment is causing you distress, you will still have to go and look for something else that pays you at least a minimum wage, because your mental health is number one. And it doesn't matter, you know, if an environment is putting you on the edge and it's stressful and this is happening every day, your health, you are guaranteed 100% that your health is going to take a toll. All this is going to ruin your health. So if you're in a low vibrational environment and you know 100% sure that there is nothing I can do to change this, you will have to change the environment. Now, you don't always have to change the environment. If you think like, I can handle this better, then you can stay. If you think like, okay, I don't need to to be stressed out by these Dusties that I meet every day. I'll just not talk to them. If they are not able to pay, I'll just tell them once and that's it. And then I'll just continue with my life. Okay, because you're employed, you're going to get paid no matter what. You can decide, you know, a lot of people are quiet quitting in their jobs. They're like, well, putting so much effort to make this job work for the employer is kind of annoying me. So a lot of people be like, okay, I'm just going to do minimum effort shit, and then I'm just going to have the least problems that I can in this work environment and go home to the people that I actually care about. So now you can decide with all the facts on the table. With all the facts on the table, you can decide, do you want to stay there and do minimum low effort work? Like, be there, but really not get stressed whether these people, your employer, you know, gets paid by Dusties or not, you know, like not make a big deal out of it. If they don't want to pay, too bad, you move on with your life. And the ones that pay. You know, because at the end of the day, what I found about employers and employees, and a lot of people are going to find this out, is that employers really don't care. They want somebody there. They want a heart that beats there, you know, a body that's breathing. They want it there so that they can collect money at whatever possible rate is possible. And then they move on with their life. They're out there sleeping, doing whatever, and having fun with their life. And the actual people doing the job are the ones who are in this stress mode, you know, trying to make this business happen. But once they're done with you, they're done with you. They could care less. And that's why people are doing this thing called quiet quitting at work, where they're like, I'm just going to be here for minimum effort, get paid, go home, because I know at the end of the day, these people don't care for me. You know, as much work as I put in this work, they don't care. So thanks, Frank. I'm glad that you got something from this. And I hope that we'll talk. You let us know how you decide to play this thing. Yeah. Life is a game. At every game, you decide which card you're going to play. Always play the winning card for you, not them. You love yourself more. You choose what's best for you, and then you move. That's life. It's not checkers. It's chess. But protect your money. I always say protect your money. Go on a vacation, be happy. And don't let this worry you. Don't let small things worry you. Look at the big picture in life. And when you go to a vacation and you see things, that's when you're going to go back to the big picture of life. And things are going to open up again. No more Dusties, no more Dusties. You know, remove all dusty people from your life. If you want peace, you want to progress, you need to move other dusty people in their life. So the Dusties, they live their shallow life. They live that low level, low effort life. Just remove Dusties from your life. People need to learn. People, if you don't let people learn, they will never learn. They will never learn. Remove dusty people from your life. You know, don't become a Dusty here on my channel. Come to my channel, like the videos, subscribe, comment. Don't become a Dusty. Low effort people who want to give nothing in life, who don't want to have no values, no morals. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. Why is my printer making some noise? Yes, I do remember, Frank. You always say, take care of number one. or you're going to be number two, right? Or you're going to be number two. So stop printing, stop. This printer, my printer has been asleep for like 24 hours, and then suddenly it starts printing things from yesterday. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is wrong with this printer? I already went to Staples. You always have to be number one. You always have to think about, in this situation, what's best for me? What's best for Frank? Is it that I stay with the company and I quit quietly and just keep getting paid and live my life? Or do I go to another place with a different experience, still getting paid with all this, you know? But every company, I always say every company, if you're employed, will have its own thing, right? Only time, even for me, I am not employed, so I'm selling my coach. I'm selling my coaching, but still, you know, I answer to the people who buy my coaching class, because imagine they came to my coaching class and I wasn't prepared, right? You still have to answer to somebody. But the thing is, when you realize you're like living happiness, your happiness is your health. Literally, stress kills people. If you realize happiness is your health, you preserve it above anybody else. Don't mess with the Dusties. I tell you, they drain your energy. They drain. A Dusty is a person who has nothing to lose. So they'll mess up your life because they got nothing to lose, right? And when you know you're working with Dusties, you avoid them like the plague. They got nothing to lose. These are people who have zero. And when you're here, they will pull you to their level. They're out there spreading dustiness. You don't want to be a Dusty. So you never ever play with their game. Like, avoid Dusties, low effort people who have no responsibilities. They will ruin your life. They will ruin your life. I tell women all the time, you see, you go to with a man who doesn't have a job, who doesn't want to pay on the first date, you know, who is always on his phone on Instagram checking out other women. He's a Dusty. He's out there to ruin your life. When that man is done with you, if you don't hate yourself, it's by the grace of God. They do the mini. It's called they do the bare minimum and they live their life. You know why? Because they understand that the company is doing the bare minimum, and you think these companies will change? I tell people, look at what is going to happen right now. And I know, Frank, you may not agree with me on some things, but we voted in for a president who cares more about the oligarchy, the people with money. You think they care about the people who are employed by their companies? The more money you give these people, the more they oppress the employee. And they'll continue to do that until we wake up and we realize, shit, they don't care about us. They care that we make money for them, and then they're done with us. People who wake up, they realize, oh, this is not a fair exchange. At the end of the day, they can let me go and find somebody else in seconds, because they'll put us in an economy where they have all the resources, all the jobs, and we are scrambling to get their jobs, and they can replace us like that, put us in a perpetual state of survival mode. You know? They put us in a perpetual state of survival mode. And when you realize survival mode equals stress, and stress kills, because imagine always being hypervigilant. What happens? Your heart pumps. You get high blood pressure. When you get high blood pressure, you can even get a stroke. They are playing the game. They know exactly where they are putting us. It's called quit quietly and don't tell nobody. Okay? Quit quietly, don't tell nobody, play the game, you know. when my company did not promote me and I had done everything I could have possibly done, I was making them millions of dollars every year, and they would not promote me either because I'm a black woman or, they have disregard for me. I don't care, right? They did not do that for me. I was like, you don't like me. You would rather put me in a lower place than I deserve so that you can exploit me, my time, my effort, and money. And then you can promote your friends, your colleagues, people who look like you. You want me to stay there? I was like, do I stay here or do I just go and trust the universe with my life and my fate? I left. I left because I didn't want to be in a perpetual place where the people who at the lowest rank in this economy, when you're at the lowest rank, which is where they wanted me to be, they don't want me to be a manager, an account manager. They want me to just recruit the shit out of them, right? Keep me there, and and you're dealing with everything, employing people, taking care of their payroll, taking care of their issues. They want you there in the stress mode where you deal with all the stress, because the higher you go, the less stress you have to deal with, the better life you have, that you get more pay, you get more leave, you get more free time, the higher you're up, right? But they wanting to move me up, and I deserve to be moved up. And I knew myself and I loved myself, and I wasn't ready to be exploited to that level. So I left. But I could have quit quietly. I could have been like, you know what, fuck you. You'll be lucky if I employ 2 people in 3 months. you know I could have done that to protect myself and my energy, because these people, they just want to exploit you. And then when they're done with you, they're done with you. When you realize that, you're like, I'm going to be number one. Okay, I'm going to be number one. I'm gonna quit quietly, get my salary, go home to the people I love, go on a vacation, do whatever the fuck I want. Is the system. It's very dangerous for your mental health. You gotta figure out these things. But that's why we have social media, and people can talk, and you don't have to, like, I'm not in your company. They don't pay me to tell you, to tell you lies. So, and you can even tell them that if you say that you have mental health, like, I think in California, and this is something you can talk with an occupational therapist. If I were you, I would go get an occupational therapist and talk to them. First, tell your company that you need to talk to an occupational therapist. They probably will pay for that. But you can talk to an occupational therapist, tell them somebody spit on me and things like that, and figure out what you can do for the company. You can tell the company you want to go on a medical leave for your mental health, because I think in California, if you say it's mental health, they are obligated to give you that time off. Go on a medical leave for your mental health, and then go on a vacation. Have the things that you need to clear your mind, because clearing your mind is something that your boss and their manager and everything and other people have the luxury of doing, but you don't have the luxury of doing, because they want you there every day clocking in, doing the work. You don't have ever time to clear your mind. So that's why I'm saying, putting you on an administrative leave, that's a good time to go clear your mind. Like, I'm there clearing my mind. Time to think about your life and where you want to take it. Take your wife or your son, just go somewhere. Even if you rent a place, even if you rent a place in Hawaii and go there for at least a weekend, even if it's 5 days, just go clear your mind completely. A place like Hawaii is very spiritual, because Hawaii has better weather even than California. It's just going to open up your spirit, and then you're going to go back into feeling, okay, I am good. A vacation is good. I always say, I'm not an advertising of drugs or anything, but take a mini vacation. Yeah, leave that problem away. And let me tell you, there is something you're going to realize. when you break from that energy of stress that's surrounding you in this situation, this is what Einstein and people, gurus, and everybody's been trying to tell people, is that you cannot solve a problem from the same level of frequency that you're in. So if you want to get ahead of it, go on a vacation and relax. When you relax, your frequency goes up. And when your frequency goes up, you're able to see this situation more clearly for what it is. And when you're able to see a situation clearly, you're able to make a better decision. But don't expect that your state of mind in survival mode will make a better decision. It will never, it will always fail you. And it's not because you did anything wrong, it's just how the mind functions. You know, it's, if you want to know how to drive a car, you have to learn how to drive a car. This is why I teach mental health, because if you understand how the mind works, you're able to change your frequencies and you're able to deal with situations better. So that's why we are here. That's why we are here. We want people to be more successful, to, you know, want people to vibrate at another level. A stressful work environment puts you in survival mode, constant survival mode. And when you realize it's stopping you from thinking clearly, constantly, all the time, you really have to question your sanity. Like, am I living to my best potential? You know, what is happening with my energy? We don't utilize a lot of our brain power because it's getting wasted on stressful, meaningless things. You know, right now, just you sitting there worrying about this situation is taking up a lot of your time and energy, and it's just kind of, you're not feeling good about it. It's a waste of your time, a waste of your life. Go on a vacation, clear your head, clear your mind, have a good time, and then, you know, figure out how you're gonna do with this. I love the mini vacay. You know, go watch a movie, sounds great. You know, I love that. Also, you forget working out. Working out is a good way to remove the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline out of your system. When you know that you're in a stressful situation, work out like 3 hours a day. Just a good 3 hours a day is enough to kind of remove all that wave of stress hormones out of your body. You know, and that's when I mean that you're very stressed because we underestimate how much that we really need to work out when we are stressed. You think like a 45-minute walk will cut it. It doesn't. It needs, like, you know, you really need to get it out, because your body needs to hit the high, and then you start feeling the feel good hormones, and then you start going down. You know, that's why I say at least minimum, if you're in a stressful situation, like this kind of a situation is stressful, is like, I'll put it like a 9 out of a 10, because it involves work and money and family and all that, right? I put it there. So I say, like, you know, a minimum 3 hours of working out, so that you don't get to a point where you're stressed out and your heart starts feeling pain. Sometimes you feel pain, like literal pain in your heart, like you're like, because of stress, right? You don't want to get there. That's why we work out completely. Go get a massage. A massage is good to just get your whole body to relax. You know, watch things that are funny, you know, happy. Just get yourself out of that space completely, like it never existed. And then you'll start seeing things clearly, and then you know exactly what to make, what decisions to make. You know, once you relax, you'll be like, okay, if I need a new job, who do I need to call? Who do I need to talk to? Do I need to go to talk to a therapist or a career coach, or somebody who can help me pivot my new career in the next, you know, 1 year or in the next 2 years? You know, you can come up with a plan. What you don't want to do is to keep reacting. You don't want to react and fight and waste energy, you know, like, I'm going to sue this person, I'm going to do this. You don't want to overreact. You first want to go down, see the situation clearly, and then make a plan, and then decide what to do. But if you're like, oh, have they decided this? Have they decided this? Have they decided that? No. You know, either way, whether you are on the wrong or not on the wrong, is not a way to live. You don't want to live in survival mode. It doesn't matter. Me, I tell people, even when I do something wrong or I didn't do something wrong, it's not enough for me to keep being in survival mode, to keep being worried about the situation. I don't give about it. Okay, I will not give. I'll go handle it. I'll go handle it for sure, but I'm not going to be in that energy, where I feel like that impending doom. I don't want to be in that situation because I know that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody. The biggest problem that I would be worried about is that if 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 I was the person causing the problems, which 100% of the time you're not, because you're not a Dusty. 100 of the time is like, I'm not a Dusty. I work, I like to be responsible, make responsible things. So I'm not a Dusty. So 100% of the time, I know that if somebody is causing, if I'm having a tussle with somebody, I am very confident in my values and who I am as a person. I am fair, I work hard, I treat people with decency. So if I'm having problems with somebody, I know like 98% of the time it's a Dusty that thinks that they can get away with things, or they can come here and take advantage of me and I'm not having it. And now they're having problems because I stand up for myself and I'm not compromising, and then they have a problem. Don't become a Dusty. Like my videos. Okay. I don't deal with Dusties, Don't become a Dusty who watches a video, doesn't like it. Like, really. Really. Anyway, mental health is number one. You are number one. Your mental health is number one. And I'll say this until that day I die, because people don't understand that their mental health is number one. If your mental health goes south, everything about your life, whether it's your money, your family, your relationships, your health, everything about your life is going to dust. Your mental health is number one. That's why I teach mental health. Hi, Bruce. Nice to see you, love. Nice to see you again. How's your day going? How's it going out there in is Arizona? Yeah, whatever anybody tells you, don't ever believe. If you understand mental health like this, you become dangerous. You become a very dangerous person. And that's why I'm here to teach people to live in post-traumatic bliss, because some of the people who've been taken advantage of are people who've come from broken places in their life. They are the most vulnerable people, and they are the most people who are manipulated and taken advantage of. And for me, I tell them it's better to learn about mental health. Learn about mental health, because mental health is about so many things. It's about relationship, it's about money, it's about how your brain works, it's about things like addiction and why we develop different addictions, it's about why people stress and what it does to your body. Like, you learn all these things about what makes up a person and how you can manipulate energy, and so nobody can manipulate you. I do this so that nobody can manipulate you. You're about to get your day going, Bruce. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Whatever you do, right? Put your mental health first, right? Put your mental health first. Life. When you get to understand your energy and your mental health, it's very hard for people to manipulate you. Like, that's what I was saying. It's very hard for people to put in negative energy, because you'll be able to read it from a mile away. You'll be able to see, like, that's a Dusty coming my way, and they want to put me in a different mental state, and I am out of here, you know. My boss used to hate it that she wanted to take advantage of me. I'm already busy, and she wanted to add me more work, and I already knew that I couldn't do it, and she couldn't believe that I'm not falling for the trick. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Then you have somebody to talk to, and you know, the beauty about having somebody, especially that. Yeah, get somebody, yeah, get a mental health. Always be in constant communication with a mental health, somebody mental health, or when you're working. And I find, like, a lot of union jobs, let's say things like even carpenters, a lot of men don't talk to occupational therapists who've worked with people, who have worked those jobs. And it's good to talk to an occupational therapist, especially who's dealt with people in your occupation, because they know stuff, they've heard stuff, they've been hearing people talk about this and that situation. And when you make that kind of a person your friend, and you talk to them often, you kind of start understanding the things that people in your field are going through mental health wise. It's a very good move. I love that move, Frank. Love it, love it. Well, guys, it's been what do you call it? It's been it's been an hour. Oh, God, what's happening with my mind? I'm losing my words. My words. I need to go take some water. Anyway, let's talk later. And I love you, and may God bless you. Yeah, sorry if you're here late. I'm out of here. God bless you. It's been an hour, so I'm out of here. Frank, I know you'll do well. Yes, I know you're doing what you did the best thing, you know. Just go relax. Go relax. Go relax. Let's talk later. I know everything will be fine if you relax and if you go into a new space. Mwah. I love you. God bless you.